What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to do a Q&A. So for the past few weeks, I've been doing Q&As. A lot of people have been messaging me, emailing me, DMing me many different questions about health. So I want to make sure, I answer all of your guys' questions and help you guys out and, be a catalyst for you guys to do more research. If you're watching this video, shower filters are now available. We have silver and black shower filters. So if you have silver shower head, the shower filter will match it. If you have a black shower head, you can get the black shower filter and match that as well. So that's exciting. The shower filters are really good. They filter out chlorine, heavy metals, pesticides, and many different contaminants that are in our tap water. There's nothing that we can really do about the contaminants that are in our local water supply, but we can get shower filters and have great impacts on our skin health, our hair health, and our overall health. Other than that, nothing much really going on. Let's get into the questions. First question is, a lot of influencers slash health gurus say that inflammation causes disease. Is that true? No, that is not true. I'm going to tell you why. So, whenever you're doing something physical and you're playing sports, let's say you jump and you land on your ankle and you sprain your ankle is going to become inflamed because there was some physical trauma. There's some tissue damage there when you sprain your ankle. So, it inflames as a response. The inflammation didn't cause your sprained ankle. The sprained ankle caused the inflammation. So, inflammation is an effect of tissue damage. It's not the cause of tissue damage. So, inflammation can never be the cause of disease. Inflammation is a response by your body, and the goal of the inflammation is to help heal the damaged tissue. And people say things like, "Oh, well, what about chronic inflammation?" Well, it's the same thing because it's now you're just talking about, a higher level of inflammation, more severe inflammation, more consistent inflammation. And this is due to tissue being damaged more. What are the things that can damage tissue? Unhealthy foods, pesticides, synthetic supplements, more physical trauma. There's many different things that can cause inflammation. Inflammation doesn't cause those things. Those things cause inflammation. And inflammation is very misunderstood. Uh, I don't really know why people always blame inflammation and then they take like anti-inflammatory drugs, and they want to attack the inflammation itself rather than addressing the root cause of the inflammation. When you attack the inflammation itself with anti-inflammatories, it may, go down or be relieved somewhat, but you're not addressing the root cause of the inflammation. So, um, I suggest getting to the root cause, figure out what's causing inflammation. Maybe it's something in your diet, maybe it's something in your environment, maybe, you're suffering some physical trauma. Um, so just self reflect and review on that and then address it, and the inflammation will go away. Next question is, how long should I spend in the I've never done it. So this is a really good question. Saunas can go up to very high temperatures, and most people may not be able to handle that. So, what I would do is just build up a tolerance for heat. And a good way to do that is to go in the sauna for maybe 10 to 15 minutes if you're just starting off. If you get a lot of sun exposure and you live in a very warm environment like Florida, uh, if you go in the sauna, you might be able to tolerate that a lot better than someone who lives up north or in a colder environment. So yeah, I would start off with 10 to 15 minutes, maybe at like 160, 170 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you can handle that, maybe jump it up to 20 to 25, 30 minutes. and just listen to your body. Make sure you're not overly exhausted or fatigued while you're in the sauna. You want to make sure you're sipping on some good water, some electrolytes, coconut water, something like that to give you energy and give you some electrolytes. That way, you're not putting yourself at harm just to get in the sauna. Because the whole point of getting in the sauna is to detoxify the body and become healthier, not to harm your body and potentially, damage your health. So, yep. Next question is, are vitamin D supplements necessary to take in the winter? In my opinion, no. I don't believe vitamin D supplements are necessary, period, at all. And I believe they can actually be, potentially harmful. If we look at most vitamin D supplements, we're looking at the substance called cholecalciferol, and that is actually used to kill rodents. A lot of the rodents, a lot of the rodent baits actually contain vitamin D3, which is cholecalciferol, and it's very harmful to rodents. Back in the day, certain foods were fortified with vitamin D, cholecalciferol, and some people actually got very ill and actually died. So I don't believe in vitamin D supplements at all. During the winter, when maybe you live up north and you're not getting that much sunlight, I still don't believe that it's necessary to take. I would just eat foods that are local and organic, or just eat healthy foods and maintain a good lifestyle. Make sure you're exercising, your indoors aren't polluted. Even when the sun is out a little bit or not at all, still go outside, get some fresh air, open up your windows, get some of that fresh air, purify the house, and just live an overall healthy lifestyle. And I think you'll be fine. Next question is, what is the difference between table salt and sea salt? So the difference between table salt and sea salt is going to be, for the most part, it's going to be the processing of it. Sea salt is literally just basically evaporated water from the sea, and then you're going to get that salt, and that's it. Table salt is going to be from salt mines underground, or it can be from the water, but it's further processed by getting heated up to high temperatures, refining it with various toxic chemicals, adding certain ingredients to enhance the color or the taste, and it often contains fluoride and heavy metals. So the quality between table salt and sea salt is what's going to be the difference. I believe sea salt is a lot better. My two favorite brands is Redmond Real Salt, and then you have Celtic Sea Salt. I love that. Is coffee good or bad, and do you drink it? So I actually think coffee gets a bad rep from brands like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. I don't believe that coffee itself is bad for us. I believe that what we've done to coffee and what we add to coffee is bad for us. So, for example, if you go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and you go buy a coffee, it's going to have processed sugars, artificial sweeteners, gums in it. It's going to have flavors in it. It's going to have so many other ingredients in it than just coffee. So, are you actually drinking coffee, or are you drinking a ultra processed drink that they are just marketing as coffee? There's a big difference between just drinking coffee and then drinking something from Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. Also, as well, being dependent on coffee, I don't think that's a good thing. You got to listen to your. Some people drink coffee and they get a bunch of energy and they get jittery. Other people drink coffee and they're totally fine, nothing happens to them. And some people have to drink coffee at certain times, or else they'll stay up late, or they won't be able to function or something like that. So just listen to your body. Try drinking coffee with just cream or milk and some maple syrup or honey to sweeten it up. Stick with natural sweeteners. Don't add a bunch of creamer to it, a bunch of processed sugars or artificial sweeteners, and then see how your body responds. I guarantee you won't be jittery. I guarantee you won't have that late crash. You'll feel a lot better, and you'll actually reap the benefits of coffee and the healthy ingredients that you add to it. Next question is, how is canola oil made? I've heard a lot of controversy about it, but haven't really looked into it. So, canola oil is heavily processed. It was actually made for machines to be a lubricant. And I'm going to show you guys a video on how it is made. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you guys this video of how canola oil is made, and it's going to blow your mind. Uh, it's I don't know why they promote it as heart healthy. I don't know why it's one of the most highly consumed oils in the world. I don't know why they say it's healthier than stuff like tallow or, you know, any other animal fats, coconut oil, stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense to say that it's healthier than those things. So let's watch this video, guys.
Canola oil is a commonly used type of cooking oil. It's derived from the seed of the canola plant, which North American farmers have been growing for about 30 years. The plant blooms in the summer, producing bright yellow flowers. Farmers harvest the seeds from pods, which form after those flowers die off. Canola oil is one of the healthiest cooking oils. Compared to olive, sunflower, and soybean oils, it has the lowest level of saturated fat, 7%. It also contains more healthy omega-3 fatty acids.
A lot of scientific information is coming out about saturated fats and how they actually aren't bad for you and they actually aren't linked to heart disease. So saying that canola oil is the healthiest cooking oil and it's healthier than oils with saturated fat, uh, that's not, there's really no truth behind that. And that is a misconception and a false belief.
Acids, and is high in monounsaturated fat, which lowers cholesterol. When the canola seed arrives at the processing factory, it contains foreign material, mostly plant pieces. So the first step is to clean the seed in a vibrating sieve. The seeds, smaller than the openings in the sieve's mesh, fall through to a conveyor below. The foreign material remains on top. A conveyor moves it to a storage bin where it's collected for sale as cattle feed. The seeds pass by a magnet.
Look at that, guys. They're giving it to the cattle. You know, they're giving the leftovers, the extra to the cattle. Cattle should be eating high quality grass and, you know, certain fruits and stuff like that that are given to them. They don't need to eat the leftovers of highly processed seeds and seeds that are contaminated with glyphosate and other pesticides.
It removes any metal that may have fallen in during the journey from field to factory.
You guys really think that it's removing all of the metals? There's no way. There's a lot of metals probably going into that.
Next, the seeds enter a roller mill. They pass between two steel rollers, which crush them into thin flakes. A conveyor then feeds the flakes into a screw press. It has a large revolving screw-shaped shaft enclosed within a slotted cage. As the shaft turns, its threads squeeze the flakes with high pressure, forcing out the oil, which then drains out through the slots. 42% of canola seed is oil. This screw press extracts nearly 3/4 of that. The remainder is still trapped in the pressed flakes, now referred to as canola cake.
Look how disgusting this stuff looks, guys. They have to put this stuff under high amounts of pressure and heat just to get the little bit of oil in those seeds out of it. And this isn't even the end of it. You're going to see what they do furthermore to create more of this.
The cake exits the other end of the press and moves on to a second extraction. This one, a 70-minute wash with a solvent. This chemical extraction process removes all but a trace of oil. The factory then...
So this is one of the most concerning parts about this is how they use chemical solvents. It's usually hexane, which is very toxic.
Grinds the cake into protein-rich meal, which it sells as animal feed. The extracted oil, stored in large tanks, Now enters the refining phase. First, they wash the oil for 20 minutes with sodium hydroxide. During this wash cycle,
So they're using more chemicals, this time sodium hydroxide.
spin the oil at high speed so that the centrifugal force separates the natural impurities, which the factory later sells to soap manufacturers. After this cleaning process, the canola oil is visibly clearer. However, it still contains natural waxes, which make it look cloudy. So the next step is to cool the oil to 5 degrees Celsius. This thickens those waxes so they can be filtered out. The waxes don't go to waste either. The factory uses them to produce vegetable shortening.
Look at how disgusting this stuff is, guys. And look how many, different processes and things they have to do just to create this oil from these seeds.
In the factory's lab, technicians recreate production on a small scale to ensure performance and quality. Meanwhile, back in the factory, after washing and filtering the oil, they bleach it to lighten the color, then use a steam injection heating process to remove the canola odor.
They just bleached it. They used the bleach, guys. That should be all you need to know.
The oil is now fully refined and ready for bottling. The equipment first turns the plastic bottles upside down and injects filtered pressurized air to blow out any dust or dirt inside. Then it turns the bottles right side up again to position for filling. Just before a nozzle starts filling, it applies a vacuum. If there's no suction indicating a leak in the bottle, the machine automatically ejects that bottle from the line. Each bottling machine in the factory fills 22,000 bottles per hour. The labeling machines work at the same speed. They spread glue on the back of each label, then apply the label's edge to the bottle. The bottle spins, wrapping the rest of the label around itself. As the bottles come off the labeler, a robot separates them into groups of 12.
And this is how they are able to mass produce this oil. They can take a bunch of seeds, put it through a bunch of processes, and then just bottle it up with, robots and machines. And that's what floods grocery store aisles. And this is the most consumed oil in America. There's a lot of information on the damages of cooking with canola oil and consuming canola oil. It's actually been linked to Alzheimer's as well. So diabetes, weight gain, erectile dysfunction, autoimmune conditions. Guys, this is not what you want to be consuming. Look at how complex this is compared to something like olive oil, where you literally just squeeze some olives and get some oil, or you take some animal fat and you heat it up a little bit, and then it hardens up and becomes oil. Coconut oil. Look at all the natural oils that don't have to be highly processed and don't have to use toxic chemical solvents to create it. That's what you should be consuming, guys. So canola oil is absolutely terrible. I don't believe that we should eat it. I believe more restaurants should stop cooking with it. The reason why they cook with it is because it's super cheap. I mean, it's literally a few dollars for gallons and gallons of this oil. So what I would do is, use tallow, coconut oil, ghee, lard, olive oil, and just natural oils that don't require a bunch of chemicals and rigorous processes. So that's it for today's video, guys. I'm going to be doing more Q&As. I'm going to answer more questions on the next video. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope this is a catalyst for further research on your journey. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next one.